Hi again. I wanted to discuss with you today quite few important things. As you remember, as you know, that today our last session, but I still will be continuing to review your emails, will continue to review your test cases, will try to answer your questions. I wanted to let you know that I will not answer individually on the questions that are really common. I will answer sometimes in Skype or here during sessions, but we will try to work on it. And I know that you already started on Tuesday. You had the session with Marina for the mobile projects. It's also very, very important, and mobile just used everywhere. So it's very important to understand. By the way, very common question on the interview. What do you think? Is it any difference in the approach in testing of mobile and web-based applications, or even the same application, let's say this web application, but it's available on both mobile devices and desktop? So this is very popular question. Again, do you think is it any difference in the approach of testing mobile versus web-based application? Answer is yes, absolutely, I believe. Wonderful, Valerie. Yes, I agree. But it's not enough. We really have to tell what is the difference, how you understand. Oh yes, of course. And can you please write it down? What is the difference? How you see? Everyone answers so far yes, sure. But what is the difference? What do you think? Please type. Please do it. And screen resolution, wonderful. And let me, while you are answering and we will discuss, let me also provide my opinion. So I also agree that yes, it is a difference, and sometimes a big difference. Why? First of all, compatibility. And if you will say that compatibility is also needed and valid for desktop versions of web applications, but you cannot compare variety of not only operating system but providers, manufacturing, versions, okay, different UI, different screen resolution and size, as you mentioned already. Some features that we never have on desktop version, like for example the screen rotation. Okay, but even besides of that, there is something that very important and very very important really on mobile versions and mobile applications versus desktop. This is testing during interruption. Let's say somebody called you while you logging in to Showcase, and you have to pick up the phone. Let's say this is the hunter or recruiter. Okay, this is very important. What happened? You have to pick up the phone, you have to answer and talk. What happened after you come back to application? Do you start from the same point that you left the application? Or everything was crashed and you have to start over? What happened if you have the low batteries? What happened if you get the text? And you also have to answer and to take it. What happened to interruption testing? This is something that we do not consider for web-based application on desktop version. I even don't want to say only about native application versus web-based. Even the same web application like Showcase, okay, this is web-based, and even if it works on mobile devices, It's still web application. You can reach it via mobile browsers. But functionality probably very often is the same. Because if you log in, let's say login, of course you can log in on desktop version, and you also can log in, should be log in with the same credentials on mobile version, right? But screen may look differently. Usability is even more important than on desktop version, simply because the screen is very small. It's navigation. It's very important, intuitive. How intuitive is the application? Actually, when we are talking about usability, this is how intuitive you can use the application. How easy the navigation is. When user first time see the application, what he wants to do, what he can do, how easy to understand what the application does without reading 200 pages manual. This is now very, very important. So we all answer, I agree, touch screen, stability, different controls, and of course the integration somebody mentioned. Yes, yes, Rashan, it's very important. Integration with default mobile phone options. Absolutely. Absolutely. Integration very often between address book or whatever. It's very, very important. So we're all on the same page. And again, this is very popular question, especially now when many applications are available in both mobile and desktop versions. I receive many questions on email and decided to discuss some of those with you today. And for some reason I was sure that in the document about information on showcase project I covered it, but for some reason I didn't find. And thank you for the questions that you asked. The question was, what technology and what back-end, what programming language is used on the back-end? For some reason I thought that I mentioned about it, but probably not. So let me fix this issue. In Showcase they use something that called LAMP technology. Let me put it also in the Skype, because it's really can be the question and can be asked. Okay. What does it mean? LAMP technology. This is one of the web development framework that use all the open source components. So, backend is using PHP or Python. LAMP, this is the abbreviation for Linux, the operating system. Apache is backend server. MySQL database, and PHP or Python. Originally it was PHP, now it's also used for Python. All those components are open source. And all of those are really cheap and easy to use together. It's called together LAMP technology. So I already answered the question. The technology that used for this application, back-end components, we use LAMP technology. You can also look on this on Google, but I'm telling you, this is web development framework for 4 open source components: Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP or Python. Again, I answered this question. We have many processes that are running on back end, some jobs that people and users cannot see even when we log in. What's happening? Again, this data request is sent to back end, the query is running, and the select happen, and from database we run the select query to verify if no Linux, but Linux is, yes, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, I highlighted it now. Okay, so guys, many jobs, many backend processes happen on the server. We are not touching them now. It's very hard. We have to know the Linux or Unix to log in to the backend server, to use the secure shell SSH, and to verify what happened on the back end. Okay. Another question that we had, what tool is used to manage the versions, the software versions, or to create a build? Because the application is written in scripting language as PHP or Python even. Okay, this is the scripting language. This language doesn't have to be compiled. We use Git. This is wonderful, very modern, popular tool. Oops, it's Russian language. Let me change it. Okay. It's Git that used for the version control. If you get the question, yes, we use the Git to update the software and to test all those new builds. Another question was what we use to share documents, test cases. This is not only test cases, but everything about the documentation. Usually now it's very, very popular. We use the Google Doc. What can be better? Tell me. We use actually Wiki inside of the company when we share all our, not even share, but upload all our internal documentation, starting for QA, this is starting for test plan, from status report, from test cases, and other things. But everyone, not only our team, but developers also update some, put some changes in the code, and product management put all the requirements and share the screenshots and also mock-ups. Mock-ups is very, very important, because how we can test. Let's say there are not anything yet, nothing is ready yet. You cannot reach the application on the website, okay? But you already should be able to start writing test cases. How are you doing it? First, you have to requirement. You have to use the requirements documentation, and also you use something that called mock-up. This is the images that prepared by designers or web design people about how all your screens should look, all forms or screens and other things. Okay, so you write test cases looking on the mock-ups. I see the question here, do testers have to know something specific if the company uses? Actually, this is the common question about what technology is using. To have something specific, if you want to be a good tester. And of course, that good tester, it's not only people who are running graphical user interface testing, no matter that UI and GUI is very, very, very important. It does matter. This is first that end user see, especially, and this is very important, especially for consumer application, when we have the various different people. Okay, and our showcase, this is exactly social network consumer application. So, about the specific things, of course, a lot of things, if we are good tester, we do not limit it only with user interface testing. It's a lot of testing on the back end, and that's why it's very popular and very important to be gray box tester. Gray box testing, what does it mean? That if I created an account, I should be able to log in to database and to run the query. And this is the answer. What are you using? Do you know SQL? I have to be able to run simple queries to verify if account was created and correct data was inserted in appropriate tables. This is what QA people should do. If I invited member, I also have to be able to verify if right script is running in order to send the email to the person that I invite. So I have to log in to my back-end server and with knowing of the Linux to be able to watch and run the script. I'm not telling about that you have to must write shell script or whatever, but there are some scripts that you also have to validate. Because let's say I created an account and everything here on UI, on the page, on the front end looks great. You get the email, thank you for joining, and you never receive email. You never receive anything, and you have no idea what happened. Here on the front end, everything looks great. So, what happened? This is the reason that you should be able to log in to the back-end server and to see was appropriate script run. If it was run, did it generate any errors or it was successful? How you do it? You go to the log file and verify, because after running of each job, log file is written. After that, if everything there is good, you probably want to go to your database and also to run appropriate query to see if this account was created. You really want to narrow the issue, to isolate the issue, to understand what can be the reason for it, if you are good QA. I'm not sure if in the beginning now you can do it, but this is the answer to answer the question. Again, what were your activities? You can say that I did run manual testing. I tested the application through UI from the end user perspective. This is what I did. I created the account. I ran end-to-end testing. How? I created the account. I was sure that I received the email. I activated my account. I created the profile. I was able to edit the profile. So it was the front-end testing and it was manual testing. Again, what the tool and how we share all our documents, that usually is either the place in the network inside of the company. We use Google Doc. This is the best. We have different documentation with appropriate permission. You all use the Google Doc and you know how to do. We share it with our team. And this is secured enough because we share it also with needed people. And this is the best way to share all our documentation. How many, the questions that I received, another question, how many people is in the agile team? It's an invalid question. What does it mean, agile team? We use the agile methodology, agile environment. What does it mean? We have really short cycles. Here in showcase, this is the 2 weeks release. So the sprint is 2 weeks long. All the cycle is 2 weeks long. All the iteration is 2 weeks long. I use different words because I don't want you to be confused if you hear the word sprint, or if you hear the word cycle, or you hear the word iteration. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Okay? So we work in agile environment. When we have the cycles very short, 2 weeks, so first and very important is communication. And let me now describe you the very popular question. Almost each and any guy has such question on the interview. Please describe me your everyday activity. Describe me your regular working day in the company. Let me tell you. So every day at 10 a.m. we have the Scrum or stand-up meeting. Okay? Where we discuss everything that happened yesterday, what are our activities for today, what is the achievement, the most important issues or bugs, plans for today, and any dependencies if they are. And also we discuss that if we need the follow-up meetings at the end of the day, we also discuss them. This is how we start our day. After that, I of course verify my email and review fixes, because every day we have new builds. Okay, so I go to my Bugzilla and I verify all the fixed bugs. We get new build, we run bug verification testing and immediately regression testing. Okay, this is what my regular activities every day. I take part in the meetings when we review new features, where we are prepared for the new releases. And this is, you remember that I showed you even the schema or our release, how the release process happen. So I have to know that I'm ready for the next release. Okay, this is besides of the activities that are running for current release. Okay, our team is not huge. This is a startup company. We do have the product manager, which is the same time is the project manager. We don't have dedicated person. Okay, we have the engineering team, which consists of 2 teams. One is development team with 6 developers currently. There were more, but now there are 6 full-time and couple people part-time working. And we have QA team really small, only 3 people. That's why we are really very, very busy, because application is big, application is complex. It's a lot of changes happen with each and any release, and we always are really busy. We have to be flexible because we are switching from feature to feature. We are running build acceptance test and immediately regression test, and we have to be on the same page with developers and product management. Okay. Another question was that if I join the application in the middle, not from the beginning, should I still write test cases? Interesting question. For this particular question, answer is following. You know, because this is very young, quite young, a little bit more than 1 year company. They didn't have, for a long time, they didn't have QA team at all. But then they realized that it's very hard. This is consumer application, and they really need formal QA team. So the team was created. And of course, it's very hard. It was very hard from the beginning to cover entire application with good and robust test cases. So yes, I joined the project and I still were participated in writing test cases. Even more, I sent my test cases for a review to developers and product manager. The reason is that we all on the same page to make sure that I understand functionality the same way. That it's not something that I write one way, developer understood different way, and product manager had in mind something else. Okay? Just because we don't have very robust documentation, even more, we don't have requirement documentation as we used to have in previous places, 200 pages manual or requirement with very robust mockup. Very often we track our new features or enhancements, changes just into Bugzilla or in Jira, if you are talking about Jira. Okay? We track not only issues and defects, but also the new features or enhancements or bug fixes. We all those things are tracking in Jira. By the way, this is the reason why in Jira people do not very often do not use the word bug, or they do not use the word defect. The word ticket. They use Jira ticket. Jira ticket 384 was fixed. Or the new feature is tracked in the Jira ticket 426. I don't want you to be confused when you hear the word ticket. Sometimes the question is, when they want to have a joke or something, where do we use the word ticket, or where do we have the tickets except the airplane? Okay, we use tickets in bug tracking system Jira. They have even the ticket. So I really want you to make sure. Another question is, performance test running? Yes, for social network application which has the multiple users, huge amount of user, performance test is very important. What we are using? JMeter. By the way, I really recommend you to install the JMeter. It's open source, free. You just have to have the Java installed, and it's very easy to use. Also, we have on Portnov video, we have not long session, basic how to use JMeter. Please try to do it. It helps us to simulate various amount of users and even to set up some scenarios. For example, what happens if 10,000 people at the same time simultaneously can log in into Showcase? What will happen if three of them log in simultaneously, and each 10 or 15 seconds three new people add? How does it behave? Probably the question I see now, how many connection it can simulate maximum. I'm not sure how many we can simulate in QA, because I don't think that QA server is very strong and very powerful, very big. But I think that up to 100 we should be able. JMeter Apache, absolutely. This is Apache JMeter, and please try to install it and try to play with it. Nothing wrong will happen. The max what you will do, it will be that you will crash the QA server, and you will be very proud of it, that you were able to do it. Okay? So, again, worst scenario can be. I didn't understand the question. Crash of server. Guys, I understand. I understand that English very often is not our native language, is not our first language. And we all, even here at school, we try to ignore typos or misspelling. But there are some specific words that we should know how to spell, that we are not allowed to misspell or make typos. We blame ourselves and we consider ourselves as professional QA people, software QA specialists. So please, if needed, write some dictation. If needed, write the same words 10,000 times, but you cannot have the errors in the word server or some other like Linux and other things that you used, or Apache or something else. Please, if you use the word, please learn how to write it. Because if you come on the interview and you will write it incorrect, it's very bad. Another thing, if you build your resume and work on it, I know that school Mikhail helps each and any person, each and any our student to write good resume. But your QA, please test your resume. I ask you very much. At least when I interview the people for QA position, and believe it or not, I interviewed hundreds of those, and I went through hundreds of interviews. Okay, the first thing that I look on is the resume. Please QA it. Please test it. Make sure that all the borders, all the margins, all the bullets, all the font is the same. That if you have something bolded for the name of the company or something, be consistent. Please QA your resume. This is our face. This is something that people see the first. So make sure that you do it. Okay? Another question was very interesting and also question very popular on the interview. What did you have any challenge during testing, or did you face any challenges? And I also always want to tell you that challenge and bug are different things. Sometimes when I ask the question, what challenges did you face, if any, during testing, working on the project? And people just start to describe me immediately about very interesting bugs, about what they discovered, and so on. So again, probably this is because they consider that because English is not our first language, and people think that challenge and issue bug is the same. No, challenge is what if did you have any difficulties while you tested the application, or everything was very smooth, very easygoing, very nice, and you didn't have any difficulties. You know, I believe that we do have difficulties sometimes and some challenges that we have to overhead. For example, for me, the challenge was that application is really complex. It has a lot of integration with social media, and this is not so easy to validate. Even considering that it has so that you can log in with email, it's also not easy to use all of those domain for email providers and verify if it works with many of those. Okay, and some other challenges that because we didn't have the requirement documentation, it was not easy from the beginning to understand how the application works and application flow. Okay, This is another challenge. How did you overhead it? Wow, I ran really extensive exploratory testing to come up to speed as soon as possible. So I ran exploratory and even ad hoc testing. I made the checklist to make sure that I understood everything. I asked the questions from my team lead or my co-workers if something was not clear. Okay? I talked to developers to make sure that I understood the functionality correct. So this is challenges that we were facing, I was facing, and how I overhead them. This is also very important. Of course, another question, and often you just say that I wrote test cases. What test cases you wrote? For the assignment. Okay? I wrote test cases by assignment. I got an assignment to test such and such module. For example, create an account and profile. Another one to log in using open ID from LinkedIn or my created account. Okay. Another one, I was responsible for testing of ad project or create resume or invite other members. Okay? You were responsible for testing of some area. It's not reasonable and it's not true if, oh, I tested entire application. Guys, application is really big and complex. You just cannot test entire application. Yes, when we had the deadline before release, entire team, no matter what was your area of expertise or assignment, you had to work on the regression. And I see a lot of activities, guys, by the way, now on the Skype. And now I probably should regret that I mentioned about the JMeter. We are not talking now about JMeter, okay? I'm telling about something else. And I really wanted to see if you ask the question or discuss here, it probably should be about what we are talking now. If everything is clear and only JMeter left over, it's okay. But for some reason, I don't think so, because I see many emails with the questions that we already discussed. That's why I repeat. That's why I tell again and again. I will not be able, and it doesn't make any sense, to answer on each individual email. Okay? Another question is, do you use any automation in your company? Guys, to be honest, in my company, when I'm working, we use very little automation. Why? We don't have enough money and enough hands, enough people. So we use, I believe that in Showcase there is very similar situation, because they still startups, they don't have a lot of investment, especially now. So if we are talking about automation, only about 20% of test cases are automated. 80% are still manual testing. Okay? And if you want to talk more about automation, or if you are planning to apply to position of automation testing, of course, what I would recommend you, please try to use the tool. It can be Selenium, QTP, Silk test, whatever you use or you want to learn, and try to automate very simple functionality of Showcase. Okay? Really simple, like logging in, like create the resume. Try to do it. I recommend you. If you do it, if you taste it, If you understand how it works, you will be able to add another bullet to your resume that you did automate some test cases. Even if you use only Selenium IDE, not WebDriver, it would be very good. Okay, and of course you have to be able to answer the question, tell me about the bugs, at least describe at least one bug that you created. Why automation required additional amount of money? Because it's required a dedicated person with either development background or somebody who knows the automation tools and can write the scripts, and this is very expensive. This is the same salary as developer. We all know that this is money. This is money and this is people, because you just have to hire more people. This is the answer on the question. Okay, so please, many of you wrote wonderful, great bugs. So as soon as you go to Bugzilla and you do the search on our project showcase and you select everything and you do the search, you will see many bugs, and some of those are amazing. Some of those are really amazing. By the way, I didn't see this one. It was change create only today, I didn't pay attention yet. So version party 40, incorrect username or password. Interesting bug, not clear at all from the short description or summary. Let's see. Maybe description will be better. Steps to reproduce. Go to the URL, sign in, type valid login and password. Okay, press sign in and you just get the error message. Incorrect username. My question would be immediately, did somebody who created the bug, did you sign in the previous version in QA39, in this one, QA39, or you created those credentials in party 40? We already discussed on one of the previous sessions that test data is very tricky, is very special, can be, because database in QA environment might be cleared, wiped out before each new release. So probably in party 40 they do not have the same credentials, that the same user that you created when you did it in QA39. We were talking about it. So please verify it again. Go to QA39 if it's still available. I believe that they already don't have it. At least when I checked, it was not there. Oh yes. So in order to make sure that this bug is absolutely valid, please try to sign in with those credentials, with that data in QA39. If it works, it means that this bug 3770 is invalid, because they probably cleaned all the data, they deleted everything, all records from the QA database before new release started. It can be the reason. If you remember for sure that you created it in party 40 and you were able to log in, it is the different things. It would be really big, high priority bug, and it had to be fixed right away. Okay, so this is my recommendation for the bug. Again, if you created it in QA39, try to log in here. If it works, please add the comment to the bug and close it. If it still doesn't work, please add the comment that it stopped working in anything. Okay. So to answer the question, what can be the good, interesting bug that you are proud of, please go to our wonderful bugs here in Bugzilla. Some of those are amazing, and bugs are that what I remember, that when you use invalid, when you create an account, username and password, and it doesn't work correct, if you don't have the instruction. First of all, you don't see the instruction, and only after you put something really long or very short, the instruction appeared that your password should be between 6 and 20 characters long. Another wonderful bug with which we crashed the QA server when we create the upload or create the new project, and we do not have any limitation on the title, so we can put up to 2000 characters or even more. First of all, it looks ugly, it's not cut off, and second, it's accepted, and we crash the server or database. It's amazing. It just crashed. We get the error that it's timeout error. Okay. So to answer the question, what bug that you are proud, it's a very funny question to me. If you ask me, what is the bug that you can proud? First of all, go and test and discover the bug, believe it or not, but this application, we are very lucky because it's full of bugs. And second, just review the issues in our Bugzilla. Try to reproduce it. Try to replicate it, those bugs. And you will discover the bugs that you can be proud of. Okay? So we were talking, I think that I answered many questions, unless I see now here on Skype more. Okay. The case that some photos repeated on the home page of Showcase isn't a bug. I'm not sure that I understood the question, what photos repeated on the home page. But let me review, and Pavel, I will answer. I don't want to spend time now, but yes, I agree, Evgenia, they fixed a lot. And if you even see how the main home page look on the party 40 and QA 39, they look very different. So there are a lot of activities for regression testing, because I'm pretty much sure that they have made many bugs, you know. And of smile people, I will review later. I promise you, Pavel, I will not forget. I will review later. I also have quite few things that I wanted. Somebody shared with me test cases on Google, and I see good, wonderful things here. What is good? Test case ID. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me make it a little bit. Can you? So 100%. Probably if I do it here, it will be better. Okay. So I like it. This is the, guys, agile. We have to spell. We have please do it for me, because I feel embarrassing when I see agile like that. Okay, so the format is very good. Test case ID, description, verifiability to join Showcase through email. But valid email is not the precondition. What is the precondition? Valid email. Again, what is the precondition, and what is the difference between preconditions and requirements and test data? Okay, I will repeat it again. Requirements is how the feature should work. This is the description about how this particular feature or functionality or module should work. And we always test or write test cases against requirements. You all remember the phrase, no requirements, no test cases, right? So this is about requirements. What is the precondition? Precondition is some actions, activities, things that have to be done in order to execute test case. For example, if I do not have created account, I cannot log in. So the precondition for login is that account is created or the user was registered. So in this case, valid email, probably you wanted to say test data, some valid email. And again, what does it mean valid, invalid? We always have to be very specific. What does it mean valid email? Valid email is the email that already registered. Is it something blah blah at blah blah.com which doesn't exist? Do you understand? Is it email in the wrong format when we do not have either extension or dot or at or domain name or username? What does it mean valid versus invalid? I really would like to specify it. Okay? We have to be very precise when you use something. So valid email is definitely not the precondition. And even more, I not really understand what is. The description or purpose, this is not the description, purpose or title is amazing. Ability to join showcase via email address. It's just amazing. Okay? Instruction also. Filled out the form with email. But I really would like to see here what email. What email? It would be much better. Okay? I just wanted to mention about it. Another things, I really wanted to show you more test cases that I reviewed today. What does it mean name and title purpose? I still do not understand the difference. Probably here it will be the ID, test case ID. I'm not sure. I assume. And the area is create account, but this is not the name. Title or purpose, and you don't have to put here both. It depends. You come to the company, they probably have even different summary or something else or name or guys, you have to be ready for that. We had an interview recently here, and one girl, very smart and very good girl, on the interview, when the interviewer showed her, this is the test cases that we use, and what can you tell about them? This girl, she's just say, wow, I write test cases in different format. I'm not sure that I can use the format. Guys, it's absolutely invalid answer. It's absolutely incorrect answer. As many companies you have, everyone has own policy. Everyone uses own format. And you have to be flexible enough. You have to adjust. You have to understand. Okay? You don't have to be confused. Okay, I wrote a title, you write a purpose. Many people use, instead of Bugzilla or Jira or some sophisticated tool, just Excel spreadsheet for the bug report. Can you imagine? By the way, Excel spreadsheet is still database. And you can filter the result. You can run different activities there. You can use macro. And it's simple, it's free, Everyone knows how to use it. So you cannot come to the company and say, you still use the Excel? I don't. Oh, you don't? You don't like it? Go ahead. We will find somebody who likes it. You know what I mean. You don't have to. Why I use very different words. Title, purpose, okay, steps, procedures, instruction, everything. So here everything is good. I still didn't understand, the only what I didn't understand, why you had this field name, because you have here already the title and purpose. Joining showcase with email, A Gmail, B Yahoo, C, I don't know what is QIP, I'm not sure, but okay, it's very good. Expected result is very good. Everything is here. This is the steps, and as you see, it's also possible the author of those test cases just put the test data in the steps field, and I don't mind at all. She could have here another field or something test data, but nothing wrong if she put the data here. Nothing wrong, just a little bit different format. Okay? That's why even if you write in Notepad, I don't mind. The most important that you use all the components and your test cases are clear, and other people, your colleagues, your teammate can run and execute those test cases. The same I want to say about the bug. Doesn't matter what bug tracking system is used, or even Excel spreadsheet, or even Notepad. Okay? Doesn't matter at all. The most important that those bugs have all main components and they can be reproducible, that I go to and read them and I open it and I follow your steps to reproduce and I can repeat it. This is the most important things. And again, coming back to the question, describe your everyday activities or describe your regular working day. I mentioned already we start from the Scrum or stand-up meeting when we discussed 1, 2, 3 activities, dependencies, plans for today, achievement for tomorrow. I verify all my fixes and make sure that I get the new build. So I run the bug verification testing, I run the regression testing, I participate in meetings, if any. What does it mean? What kind of meeting? Design review, because they invite me on those meetings and I appreciate it very much. Also, sometimes I need to work with developers to understand how one or another new feature works, to make sure that we are on the same page and that I can write correct test case and I use right data, that I can do the good job. I can test it correctly. Okay, once a week we have a company lunch, team lunch together. Once a week on Tuesday we have the bagels in the morning with the cream cheese. Okay, and this is everyday activities, except the only exclusion is the release date, because release usually happen in our company at 11 a.m. and this is the day that we are not allowed to work from home. We always in the company, and this is a little bit special day, because when release is happening we run the sanity test on production to make sure that everything works as supposed to work. Okay, so I believe that we had wonderful, great activities on Showcase. I appreciate your hard work and you wrote very good test cases. You wrote many amazing bugs. You were working on the showcase. It depends on your resume, and please discuss this question with Mikhail. You did participate in few releases, and this is exactly what happened. Okay. You wrote here the last lesson was the best one just because it's last. And you are tired of me, maybe. Yes, and guys, I still will continue to review your emails. I know that I answered few of those. Many questions I try to cover here on our sessions. I print them, those questions, and I try to cover them today. Okay, if you have specific questions, please ask even in Skype. Probably you are not only one who have these questions, and so I will try to answer to all of you. Okay? I was enjoying working with you. You are very special, very strong team, considering how you completed homework, the test cases that you sent to me, the application description, how you are described about the company, about the application, about the main features, about your activities. You're great. You're amazing. I was enjoying working with you. Good luck. You will have another wonderful project, mobile project with Marina, and you will enjoy those sessions. And good luck to all of you. This is what I can tell you. Oh, wonderful. Congratulate to you also, and have a great Women's Day, International Women's Day. And again, good luck, guys. Good luck. I wish you the best. Bye-bye and good night.